Good morning, Mendocino. Welcome to MendoLatino. This is Diana Corriat.
Y yo soy Loreto Rojas. Bienvenidos a Mendo Latino. Welcome to another bilingual edition of Mendo Latino. The first half an hour in English, and we'll have a second part in Español.
And if you don't know, MendoLatino is a Spanish language and bilingual public affairs radio program that delves into social, cultural, and political issues that are relevant right here in Mendocino and beyond. We broadcast on our local community radio station, KZYX, every second and fourth Monday at 9 a.m. You can catch this program and any of our past programs on our YouTube channel or Facebook page. Both are called MendoLatino. And I just want to say right now, if you like our program or any of the great programs that make this radio station possible, we're in overdrive. Please donate to KZYX today. We really, really, really need your support. Thank you so much. You can mail in a check. You can go to the website and hit donate. You all know there are many ways to do so. Loreto?
And this month, in May, we have the pleasure to spend time talking about the Mendocino Film Festival, one of the biggest events here in our little community in Northern California. The festival begins on Thursday, May 28th, and it goes through Sunday, May 31st. Today, we are interviewing Pierre Saint-Martin-Castellanos, the director of the film called We Shall Not Be Moved. En español, No Nos Moverán. This is quite a moving and even unexpectedly funny film from Mexico, where it blends political memory, dark humor, and personal obsession, if I could say that. It tells the story of an older woman who, many years after the Tlatelolco massacre in 1968, she continues searching for the man she believes killed her brother. In this film, we can see how this political violence is explored and continues to echo through everyday life in Mexico. Maybe some of you will remember the Tlatelolco massacre that took place when the Mexican government violently repressed students' protest in Mexico City, in La Plaza de las Tres Culturas, leaving many dead and even as today, there is not an official number of how many people died. So let's first introduce our guest.
Okay, so I will have the pleasure to do so. So Pierre Saint-Martin, do you say San Martin or Saint Martin?
Thank you so much for the invitation. But I used to, how do you say, to Spanish my name that is French, so I say Pierre Saint Martin. That's the way that I use it.
Okay, so Pierre Saint-Martin-Castellanos is a film director and screenwriter who graduated from the National Autonomous University of Mexico's University Center for Cinematic Studies. This is his first feature film. I just want to take a step back and say that because it's pretty extraordinary. This feature film, We Shall Not Be Moved, marked his debut as both a director and a co-screenwriter. This film has been recognized at more than 50 international film festivals. It has also received, till now, maybe more awards now, but up to 15 IDL Award nominations. And it won for Best First Feature, Best Actress, Best Breakthrough Actor, and Best Original Screenplay. Whoa. It was also selected as Mexico's official submission for the 2026 Academy Awards and the Goya Awards. Pierre is currently developing his next film, but of course. Welcome, Pierre.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be with you guys and just want to keep talking about the film to find new audience. For me, it's very exciting. So thank you so much.
First of all, I want to say, I'm sorry, Diana, to interrupt you, but I just want to mention right away that you all people here in Mendocino County are invited to come and see this movie Friday afternoon, May 29th at 1:20 p.m. at the Coast Cinemas in Fort Bragg. The movie is in Spanish language with English subtitles, and you really want to see it in the big screen. It's really an amazing movie, discúlpeme, ¿sí? An incredible film. So I highly recommend everybody to get your tickets in advance. And check, please, the program of the film festival, because there are many nice offerings. Diana and I will be there with Pierre, conducting a conversation at the end of the movie with a Q&A session. So don't miss out and come and join us that Friday.
That's right, Pierre. So you won't be rid of us after this radio show. You will continue to see us, and you'll come to our beautiful, beautiful coastal village of Mendocino, and we'll be able to welcome you. So I just want to tell you, first of all, I'm a total fan of this film and am thrilled you're coming here. I saw the film originally in Cali, Colombia, when it was screened there at the International Film Festival in Cali, it's called. And at that point, it became one of my favorite films, not only of that year, but maybe of many years. I don't know how many years. So I'm a huge fan. Amazing script, casting, the development of such interesting characters, great visual look, and symbolism that you really are like astounded by. So we're going to talk a lot about a lot of these elements today and continue this dialogue at the film festival. So I'm going to just throw one out, and then I'm going to give it to Loreto. Now, I'm pretty sure, looking at you, you were not born when the 1968 Tlatelolco, I can't pronounce it that well, massacre occurred. But it obviously has had a huge impact on your life. And it is a story of loss, revenge, and redemption. So it's very complicated. So why this story for you at this time, or at the time of writing?
Well, that's a really usual question, that why someone like me, that I born in 1979. I was talking about the 1968 in Mexico, but that has a reason, because that's a really important social issue that happened since that day to our days. There are a lot of things that we still haven't. There's still questions about what happened. Who are the people who did this massacre? And there's a lot of questions about it, and there's a point break that from our society, that we could work along with the government, and then from the 68 to our days, there has been a break, between the respect from the government or army or the policemen with the civilians. So that's really a shame that we had been carried this thing from the 68 till our days. So to any student in Mexico, the 68 massacre is a reference, and is something that we feel involved, because once I was young, and once I was a student. So imagine that I was doing this thing in the 68. It was something that it really shocked me when I discovered, when I was I believe 18 something, and I discovered this event through this beautiful film, the Jorge Fons' Rojo Amanecer. I don't know how to say it in English. I don't know the right translation.
I think it's Red Dawn.
Red Dawn, probably, right? So that film just introduced me and a lot of people about this theme, and it just took me really seriously. It just get into me in that moment when I was very young. And then when I was in the 2018, I was writing my second feature film. Because the first I did develop and wrote a first script that I couldn't produce because of different matters, financial matters actually. But I did want to do a smaller film. And it was happening in 2018. That was the 50th anniversary of the 68. So it came to in my mind to talk about the people that who died in those days. My uncle actually died nearly from those years, 69, 70, and my mother was very touched by my uncle's death. So it happened also that in 2018, my mother was she was very sick, and we thought she could be just she could die, anytime. Now she's okay, but in that time we didn't knew that what was going to happen with her. So for me, those two things they mix it together. For one side, the 68th anniversary, and from the other, my mother she was just running out of time, and then I was thinking to do a love letter to her to say that she has to if she will pass away, I was asking to just leave those things, that pain of my uncle's death. Just throw it, like let it go. And then I realized that there was so many people that we didn't talk too much. That was the ones who left, the ones who survived, or the ones who lost someone in the 68. So that was at the end. That was the real mixture that I found with Iker Compean. That he was the co-writer of We Shall Not Be Moved. So we just find out that there were so many people that they want to talk about the grief, the pain of the lost, and also to try to find their way to just keep going, to go forward through this tragedy that we all. I don't know, that I was thinking that we all have lost someone. So I think we can understand that how difficult it is to let it go. And of course, it's not the same that someone has been killed by the government and someone who has died by cancer. But if you really think a little bit, it has some of the same ingredients. That you don't want to lose someone that you love, and if you feel guilty, that you could do something more, something to help this relative or friend or whatever. So that for me and for Iker was the main ingredients to talk about this film, but also for a personal reason, as I said, for a love letter to my mother.
Yeah, it's a very interesting way that how you are describing how the idea came about. But the movie, has elements of thriller, black comedy, has some surreal elements that becomes a little bit onirico, like a dream-like, and sometimes we don't know exactly what's happening. But because we don't want to spoil the movie. The movie is so good that people just need to go and see it. But one of the things that I wanted to ask you is, I imagine you spent quite a long time developing this script, because it takes the public, the person that's seeing the movie, to so many different places, and it's so relatable in so many levels. You already talk about the topic of someone dying in your family, and for us wanted to make peace with that, particularly if it's a violent death. But how did the other elements came about? I for me, when I watched the movie, I was like, this is so kind of realismo mágico, no? Like a magic realism, because the elements of also the housing and the outside and the inside and so many other levels. Can you talk a little bit how all these different elements came about that you were able to create this opera prima, that it takes the viewer so many different places.
Well, thank you so much, Loreto, for saying those beautiful things about the film. Well, this we took not that much time. We start to writing the script. I believe in 2000, the end of the 2018, and we finished in 2020. That was the first time that we asked for the financial money for IMCINE, for the government, to help us to produce the film, and we finally get it in 2022. Along the way, I was just doing. We were doing some change, moving things, as we just fit the cast, and also as we just find the right locations, and everything is just a rewriting process since you start to write until you do the editing. But of course, the thing here is that those elements, I think, I'm just trying to always be, I don't know, like trying to understand how the symbols could work for the best for the drama. That's one of those things that I'm always thinking about now that I'm writing the next film with Iker also. I say that those things from time to time. I said this is really important to find the music. It's really important to find what's going to mean this thing. What was the meaning? What's the meaning for the character, and also what's the meaning for the metaphor? I'm always trying to think about metaphors, visual metaphors, sound metaphors. For anything. So, because for me. It's really important, the plot is really important, the storytelling, but for me it's also quite important the visual and the audiovisual language. That's so I'm always thinking about, for an instance, I was in the before, I think, the first draft, we were thinking about when I was writing the treatment. I was thinking about to Socorro, the main character of the film, have a pet that will be a dog. So, but then I said, no, I don't think that dog fits well, because I think we need to. Something a little bit crazy, because it doesn't sound crazy that someone talked to the dog. It's the most, that now is the most common thing. So I say, well, we have to switch that. So I was thinking, what else my mother talks to? So I just recall that my mom used to still talk to the birds. So I said, okay, so it could be a dove. So then, yes, dove, right? Yeah, well, I don't know if it's dove or it's another word.
A dove, yeah. You say.
Okay, so well, then I thought the dove. Then I was thinking about what this dove could mean, and then I recalled, the 68. They had a lot of images of this dove, the peace dove, this white peace dove. So I said, well, that's a link with the 68, so it makes sense. So I recall that my uncle used to like also the birds. So that was just trying to find the links, between the symbols and the storytelling. And for me, that's something that I always trying to find. I'm always open, and I like to spend a time, as you say, daydreaming things. That how the dreams are, or fantasies the way that we see, the subjective way, how we can put it on in the film, because that's for me was one of the most important things in the films that I like. That it feel like we're walking the shoes of the characters. We see what they see, we hear what they hear, and we also don't understand what he doesn't understand. I like to walk in that way. It feels for me more submersive. I feel it's more submersive to try to be more feeling, the appeal more for the senses. So that's a little bit.
And not to mention, we'll have to get back to, I have another burning question for you, but the idea, just really quickly, was humor always in the plan? Because, when you think about the film and you think about, at least when I saw the title, No Nos Moverán, we shall not be moved, and I saw the main theme, everybody mentions the massacre, I think, oh, it's going to be a really serious film. And of course, it is very serious, and as a political thriller, I wasn't expecting all the really great humor that is injected throughout the film. I mean, was that always there, or did that develop along the way?
Well, yeah, that's something that it appears since the treatment, but just a little bit, because of that thing just came from my mother. My mother has a really sarcastic and ironic sense of humor, and the one that I just received for my own amount of that, but. That's something that's always that the character is a little bit about her, as I was saying before. So, but the one who pushed that a little bit harder into the storytelling, it was Iker. Iker did a first draft that was very comic. Then I recall that I was reading the script, and I said, well, man, this guy just put everything, with too many jokes and stuff. And suddenly I said, I think it's okay. I think I like it, but I think we have to blend it a little bit different, to trying to have some moments of that, but also moments of darkness that was before of Iker was a little bit more a darker film. Now I really appreciate that from Iker, because now everything that I'm doing right now, I'm just getting through the humor, because I found I'm someone who always has liked the comedy, but the comedy in cinema is not so well serious. It's not that art house, so to speak. So for me, Mel Brooks, for example, for instance, could be The Simpsons. For me, that's like really the school of my sense of humor, and then I just felt free to do so, to follow those feelings, to try to find the ironic things, but also a door opened, and when I get through the door, I find a way to speak, to understand that there's so many tragic things that happen in life, but there's also happiness in the same, sometimes in the same room, sometimes in the same street. Sometimes is the life doesn't ask you for permission to be, to be there. So you sometimes I feel grief or worry or something, and someone pass by me and is just joking around, or is happy, or it's a parade, but you have grief, and then you see that the grief is not our grief. It's something that it has been before us in also the life and the joy is before us. So I believe that it always I believe that the all the happenings or the facts or the things that happen to us is like a house that has two doors, and one is the comedy and one is the tragedy, but it's the same house. Yeah, and you sometimes choose or not choose to which door you want to get through something, but it has the two doors, even if you don't want to use one of those. I mean, that's something that I am really attached to the comedy now. The thing that we're writing now, the film that we're doing, Iker and I, is a dark comedy again, but it's also about someone who has a lot of grief in his life, and it's just so. And I always keep saying to Iker that say, if it's true, if it's really sad, it's funny. But it must be real. It must be a real pain, because that's when you can see what is the ridiculous thing in feel pain for many things that we shouldn't, because we always like to have pain for some things that are really not worth to, or are things that are not meant to be in that way. Sorry, I just mess around all the question, but that's something that I really enjoy to keep talking about, how the humor is always present in our lives, whether we like it or not.
Well, Pierre, I must say you are talking about tango right now. When we talk about tango, I mean, you're talking about something so Latin American, and this is something that I have been confronted for by the Spaniards sometimes. It's like, oh, you Latin Americans don't take anything seriously. And I believe that we have that beauty in our lives to see things in the way that you are describing it. So for everybody that's listening to our program today, I have to recommend you to come to the film festival and get your tickets to see No Nos Moverán, We Shall Not Be Moved. And after the movie, which is going to be screened on Friday afternoon, May 29th at 1:20 p.m. at the Coast Cinemas in Fort Bragg, Diana and I will be there facilitating the conversation, where we will talk with Pierre about many other elements that we haven't had the time to discuss in this short interview, because it's really a rich and unexpected, not only funny, but also excellently written and made a movie. Diana?
That's right. And so for those of you who speak Spanish, aunque hablan un poco de español, stay tuned, because we're going to go right into the second half hour asking some different questions to Pierre about the film in español. So again, Pierre, thank you so much, and we'll see you in 2 seconds.
Thank you. Thank you so much to you guys.